Hey everybody, we are back with another review, and today we got a little bit of a different type of a review. Today we're going to be talking about an app called Whatnot, a collectible marketplace for pretty much everything now. So without further ado, let's hop right into this review. So I guess best to probably at least kind of show you guys what the app is itself. You could download it in the iOS store and in the Android store as well. And this is kind of like what it looks like when you come on there. Very simplistic in regards to the layout. It's got two choices in regards to buying and selling, which is pretty cool. And I've been selling full-time on this app for just about a year, just over a year now. So I hit my 1 year back in the end of February. So we're now going into April. So it's been quite a good year to sell on this app and see it grow and grow with it. But like I was saying, there's two types of paths you could take here. There's the passive selling approach, which allows you to go to basically any category. You can find live shows, but you can also go to the search option and let's look for The Mandalorian. Let's just type in The Mandalorian and see if anybody has the new glow-in-the-dark exclusive up from Entertainment Earth. There we go. There we go, the Entertainment Earth one. We swipe this up and we can see all the different people selling this. There is the one we were looking for, and this is called passive selling in the marketplace, if you would. Buy it now, make an offer, put it up, let it set it and forget it. Basically set it and forget it. And you can see all the different people here that have it for sale. You can search which condition you want, so you can get $16. You can get some mint ones here. And there's one for $15, that's near mint, so that's pretty good. I think it's like 15 new anyway, so price is probably at its bottom right now. If you wanted to scoop one of these up, now would probably be the best time. I'm sure it'd probably go up to about 25 or 30 eventually, but that's neither here nor there. This is the passive approach for selling. And then we also have the non-passive, which is the live streaming, which is really awesome. It's kind of like Twitch mixed with like an online marketplace. Let's hop into one of these. Let's go to, here we go, Everything and More. Let's check him out. Nice. Looks like he's doing a winner's choice right now. I'm not sure. Guess who's in there? Maybe he's doing a pop game right now. I don't have the volume turned up because, we're recording, but pretty cool in regards to the game that he's got going on here. So some people do games. I do some games in mine as well, which is fun. But again, that's a live experience where you bring your assets to the table, because now it's not just pops, but in this specific case, pops is what I started with. And you sell everything that night in that one live stream. So you could have 1,000 items you bring out to the table. You sell all of them that night if you want, obviously. You don't have to sell everything out, but I tend to like to do that. I bring everything for a specific auction, and I'll usually sell through that, whether it's a Marvel Funko Pop theme auction, a DC one, a Venom themed auction, Star Wars themed Funko Pops, all the different themes. It's nice to have all those there, and if something doesn't sell, I just roll it over to the next one. If there's another Star Wars one I'm doing or another general pop auction, I'll just throw it in that. So it's like no harm, no foul. But when it comes to selling on here as a seller, that's more like buying and selling, I guess, a little mix. But here, you can check mine out. Here we go. So here's some of I'll show you my page as a buyer right here. So these are some of the lives that I have bookmarked here. It'll show me some of my products that I'm looking to save. I don't have any saved right now. I do have some wants. These are some of my wants right here, some of my unattainable Motu ones. They're on the list. We got the Boba Fett, the $580 one. A little Huckleberry Hound, probably the cheapest one in here, but I've also put a lot of these on here because I'd like to watch the price on them, because it'll tell me, like, for example, this Batman 1966, it'll be like, hey, somebody's got it for $18.50, and like the pop value, it says $320, but it's been around $2,000. So we'll go to my selling page and I'll kind of show you guys what that's about. So when you sell stuff on here, usually you'll get a balance there. When I'm done with my live streams, I just cash it out, so I keep track of each auction individually. I sold over 5,000 items on the site. I got a 4.9 rating out of 5. We got your followers, who you're following, and then here are some of my shows. So I just added these shows 2 days ago. We did the Funko Pop Grails only, so I'm going to do a bunch of Grails. It's a specific themed show for that, so it's going to be basically stuff that's over $30. So that's the theme, is over 30. I think the highest thing I got in that's like 460. It's an NYCC Mandalorian. At the moment, I don't know if I'm going to keep it in there one or not. But anyway, then on Friday, I got some Funko Chase sodas. So I got about 18 chases put aside for that. So that should be pretty fun. And again, Thursday is in like tonight. I'll be doing this Funko Pop Grails only one. But it'll show me my shows here, and it allows you to basically have a catalog here of everything that you got coming up and scheduled as a seller. And truly, selling on this platform over other ones for collectibles has been night and day. Once I got on here and started selling and saw the vibe, I moved my entire operation over to Whatnot. So, like I said, I've been... if you've watched my previous videos, you probably know already that I've been a reseller for over 20 years. It's what I do primarily. I sell books as a mainstay, and I resell all kinds of new and used goods as well as collectibles. So I started to get into selling collectibles on my main platforms of selling through eBay and Amazon. I didn't deal with local stuff because it's just too much time to invest in it, and I don't have the time to do that and keep up with it. I would buy stuff locally to flip online. That is a thing I would definitely do, but I didn't have time to arrange sales and meets and all this other stuff to sell stuff and have people ghost me and everything, this, that, and the other. Anyway, selling locally wasn't my thing. Selling online has been superb. I already had a system set up for selling on all these other marketplaces, which allowed me to basically transform my infrastructure over to Whatnot. And now that Whatnot's been basically opening up all the categories, I mean, they have everything here. Let me pull this up here. We'll check out some of the categories they got here. Let's get out of here. Whoops. Let's get over to home. Where are we at here? So categories, that's categories I follow. These are just ones I follow. You can scroll through here and see some of the ones that I follow. But let's go, where is it at? All the way at the bottom here. We'll go through some of these. Diecast, live shows, and here's some other categories that I might not necessarily have bookmarked. They might be new. I might not know about them. Trading card games, sports, memorabilia, cards, toys, all types of toys, minis, any type of toy, figures. It's just toys now. It's not just Funko. It's now toys and everything else. Comics and books. So I'm a bookseller, and this is, like I said, I have a... this was something I've had on the books for a couple weeks now. This is my book fair that I have. Like I said, bookseller, 3/31, so the end of the month. I already got 52 people waiting to see that show. And also, if you leave your shows on in advance, put them up in advance, and let them sit up there, you'll get more people bookmarking them. Like I said, I just added these Funko ones 2 days ago, because I kind of flip stuff around, because I'm still not ready to do these two shows yet. I'm still trying to wipe the PCs and put new OSs on these big box PC games for this auction. So I just bumped these two back and added these two, and as you can see, I have 7 and 5, so not many people in 2 days. But as the day of tomorrow, people will see this because it'll show up in relevancy on the shows that you're going to see that day. So like it'll show you up here, for example, we'll go to the top. Here you go. Popular for you, recommended, it'll show up in those for people. But anyway, some categories that they've added in here. We now have a fashion category, which I think was originally just like vintage rags or vintage t-shirts, vintage anything pretty much. And shoes, and I think now it's just evolved to like everything, like handbags, like the whole shebang. Video games and movies, we now have a movie category, so now you can sell VHSs, DVDs, whatever, movie-wise on that category. And then Whatnot, obviously, which is just a mix of all kinds of stuff. This one's doing a Be Kind Rewind's doing a huge CD sale. We have an autograph signing here from Average Joe. We got Picker's Delight, which is pretty cool. It just looks like a bunch of collectibles. We also have some Random Collector Wednesday Fun. Looks like some coins in that one. We got some more coins there. Vinyl collections. I mean, vintage glass. That is freaking sweet. That's awesome. Let's bookmark that one. I want to check that out for sure. Movie poster collection, that's freaking cool. So a lot of different things. I come on here all the time and I'll see different things I've never seen before, like the vintage glass one. I mean, I think that's like totally cool, and I want to check that out. Digging the Crates, West Coast, I'm guessing that's going to be a vinyl one. So it looks like vinyl's breaking in through the Whatnot stratosphere here. Coins is making a big thing. I'll be doing some coin auctions here coming up over the spring and summer. So that's pretty cool to see new things here. Here we go. We got Disney memorabilia. So that's just a mix of anything Disney themed, which is pretty cool. So like I said, there's so many different things that you can sell on Whatnot now that you couldn't sell before. It was just open for Funko, Pokemon, and like, I mean, that's really it when I got on. They added sports cards. They added comics. And I've sold in every single category thus far that they've opened up, except some of these newer ones like the fashion one, the coins one. These have opened up over the past like 5 or 6 months. So those I will be doing, because I do have a sweater auction I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to be doing a sweater, blowout sweater auction, dollar sweaters, and probably some coats and stuff here in the next week or so. I'll be scheduling it for the end of winter and the beginning of spring. So blasting out old inventory and selling new. So let's go back to talking about Whatnot, though. So how I basically have been doing this is I've been doing 2 auctions a week. I've been doing auctions on Tuesday and auctions on Thursday. And I do the same time every single week, 8 p.m. Mountain, which is 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. I try to stick to the same schedule in regards to when I do my auctions for my time slot. Because originally when you got on Whatnot, you had to request a time slot, get it approved, and hope nobody else had requested that time slot first. Now you just go live whenever it's like the Wild West. But I still stick to my respective time slots that I originally started with when I used to have to request them, because those are ones that I would be able to commit to on a regular or weekly basis, every Tuesday and Thursday. And I was doing a lot of other stuff too, wearing many hats at the time when I first started doing this, because it was something where it was new, didn't know how it was going to go. And I'd say I've done really well with refining my collection as a collector. I've been able to redefine my business as a business owner. It's been a great relationship being with Whatnot, and it has grown, and I'll explain how it's grown and where it's grown into here in just a little bit. I'm going to go back to the selling portion of it and kind of talk about the different things in different categories and kind of the evolution of my selling on the platform in a summation, I guess, basically of when I first started off. I would do straight up individual auctions where I'd say, here's the pop. We'd start it off at whatever I wanted to start it at, a Scrooge McDuck or something like that. I would have either a starting price where I'd start it off at, like, let's say 15, or start it off at $1 if it was something that was less. And I kind of break things down by value, and I'll explain that in a second. But I used to run straight up auctions when I first started out, where we'd go to this one. When this one's done, we'd go to this one. And then when this one's done, we'd go to this one. And then we would take requests during the auction, and I have a thing called a queue to the right of me, which is basically first come, first serve requests. Oh, I want to see the Target Con Boba Fett. Let me see the Blacklight Spider-Man. Let me see the Scrooge. And then I have them lined up, and we just kind of rattle through them. Now, when the queue starts getting backed up to the point where I've got 12 to 15 pops in there, it becomes a problem, because that's going to take at least 20 to 30 minutes before the person who asked for that pop's going to actually see the pop. And this was something that I noticed as I was watching my viewer numbers when I originally started out. How it would work is it would kind of dip, and then it would go up again, and there was really no rhyme or reason to it. People would just lose interest if you lost their interest by what you're doing and the way that you're running your strat for selling. So in November, I noticed something from a gentleman named Mike Bell, Bloodstripe. Everyone knows Bloodstripe in the Whatnot community. Phenomenal dude, phenomenal seller on the platform. I was in one of his auctions, and it was like a light bulb went off. So I went in there, and he had like pops just kind of laid out here on a table, and it was no like rhyme or reason. I mean, these are, because they're all He-Man and whatnot, but there was no rhyme and reason to it. He had Dorbs, he had minis, he had pops. They were all from different genres, and I'm like, what is he doing? This is very interesting. He was doing winner's choice. So he put all these out there, and he started the starting bid at like $5, and he said, pick two, whichever two you want out of there. And he was doing pick 3, and I thought this winner's choice thing was a phenomenal idea, how he did this. And a light bulb went off in my head, and I said, I could do this in like every category with literally everything that they have on Whatnot for sale. Single cards, I could do matrices of cards. I mean, there is no end in sight in regards to how this strat could be applied to other things. And I've only seen this used in like minis and stuff. Now, Fossil Record would go back and say probably Pop Couple originated this down the road, and everyone kind of saw that and just emulated it, and it moved kind of and spreaded throughout the community. But this is the guy who I saw it from, Bloodstripe, and this was like game-changing for me to do some kind of winner's choice thing. So when I saw that, I said, man, let me do this with pops. And since November, I've been running a strat called Winner's Choice, which I run for pretty much everything. And if you're not familiar with it, it's something where, everyone will bid, and the winner gets to choose whatever one that they want. It works out really nice when you have a fresh grid of pops, and I'll line them up like this, and I'll have them all on the screen so everyone can see them. I have a pretty good number of what I like to use in regards to how many pops on the screen. So it's visible. You can see the pops. You can see the condition of the boxes. And you don't have too many on the screen where people are like, what's that one back there? You know what I mean? Everyone can see everything. It's on the screen and it's out of the view of the chat. So it's on the top of the screen. And by out of the view of the chat, let's go to hang on here. Let's get this pulled up here. Let's go to someone's show. So as you can see here, chat stops right about here. The top half of the screen is where you have your display area. You could have stuff down here, but it really gets obscured by the chat, especially while the chat's scrolling. So, yeah, anyway, winner's choice. I like to have everything in view of everyone who's on the screen, and the winner will get to choose whichever one they want. Now, it's nice, like I said, to have a fresh grid, because then the person who wins the first one gets first crack at the grid. They get to take the first pop that they want out of the grid. And I think the thing that connected most to me when I saw the winner's choice originally implemented through Bloodstripe was the thing that I kind of explained before, where the queue builds up and you get to a point where basically you're going to wait 20 to 30 minutes before you're even going to get an opportunity to bid on the thing that you want. And you might have lost interest by then. I like the fact that I can hop into an auction with someone doing winner's choice like this. If I want to support the creator and I want to also get something, you know, that might interest me with my purchase to support the creator, I could do something like that. I could just hop in, I could just bid up whatever I want and pick the exact item that I want to get and dip out. I supported the creator. I'm able to still get something that I want. Even as a buyer, sometimes a lot of people don't have a lot of time. They hop into an auction. They don't want to wait 20, 30 minutes. I know you could set reminders now, but in the beginning you could not do that. Now you can set reminders and it'll shoot you a notification. Hey, you know, Boba Fett from the original series is on there. Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, he's on there. He's up for auction right now. Hop in there and grab it. Now they do that stuff. But when I was evolving my platform and my strat of selling to the winner's choice, these were all things I had to kind of mull through and figure out through the process of it. But now I do it in every category, and I truly do love it in regards to like figuring out how can I take this particular type of asset, if you would, whether it's you know, CDs, whether it's video games, whether it's comic books, it's cards, it's sports cards, it's slabs. It doesn't matter what it is. There's a way you can make winner's choice into it, and you could do it really well in regards to providing value for people, getting viewer retention, and selling your items for at least what you're looking for. Because most of the time, you get competitive interest against certain things like, I want this one, I want that one, I want this one, I want that one. And it becomes a nice little auction bidding atmosphere, if you would. When you only have one, and let's say I'm not a fan of DuckTales, and I'm running Webigale, you might go hop over to somebody else's auction and just leave. But while your pop that you want is on the screen and it's there, and you're usually, you know, I usually have like 12 to 15 pops on the screen at one time, 12 to 16 pops on screen at one time. There's usually a pop there that somebody wants, especially when you start something out at $1 or something like that for the grid. And they know, oh, that pop's $25. I'm going to stay here and watch this. So it's, the selling strat really kind of elevated my, I guess, selling to the next level, if you would. But I really just discovered that, like I said, towards the end of Q4, and I've been applying it since. So for the past 3 or 4 months, and I really do like it. It's actually quite fun to do winner's choice as a seller as well, because I'm not just mulling through stuff where it's like, oh, I got to go through these commons to get to the really cool pops. I could just run all the commons together and then run all the really cool pops together. And I guess that moves on to my next point, which I'll finish off the winner's choice explanation and my selling strat explanation, is I like to group things by value. That's usually how I like to do it. So I'll do groupings where I'll do pops that are valued, you know, 20 or 15 and under. I'll do 20 to 30. I'll do 30 to 50. I'll do 50 to 100. And then I'll do like 100 plus. So if something's like 90, 95, I'll put it in the 100 plus category, just because it's probably right there already, and it's on the end of the $50 spectrum. So we don't want to have stuff on the $50 spectrum being lumped in with stuff that's on the $95 end of the spectrum. So that's how I pretty much do it. I like to lump it in by value, because when you have a starting bid, you don't have a $1 or $8 pop sitting next to a $150 pop, because the lower end pop devalues the higher end pop. And sometimes when you group things by value for winner's choice, what I've noticed is a lot of the times people will understand some of the values of the pops that are up there. You'd be like, dang, I didn't know that that Cad Bane was $45. I just saw those at Walmart 3 weeks ago for $15. You know what I mean? Or something like that, wherever it was distributed through. It doesn't matter. But regardless, sometimes people will, like, even in a way kind of get an introspective view of what kind of things are worth, even if they're not buying stuff. They might just want to hang out and say, oh, well, what pops did he put in the grail rack? What does he have in the 50 and up rack? What does he got in the 100 and up rack? Let's see, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what kind of things maybe have appreciated value, because I know he's probably scanning his pops and seeing what's what before he sells them. So let's see what he's got. And stuff like that, these are all things that grab attention, which are really nice, and allows you to basically have people constantly watching your pops, constantly staying in your streams, and keeping the attention there. And the last thing I'll talk about in regards to my selling strat, and I can go into detail of all this stuff if you guys want, you just drop some comments down in the comment section below saying, hey, do some more maybe specific videos on this or specific videos on that, or do another generalization basically on just buying or just selling. But I'm kind of doing a swift overview. But lastly, I figured out one of the biggest things I figured out over the past year as a seller on Whatnot is attention span of the seller and attention span of the buyer. I usually can do probably around 100 to 150 items. As well as the buyers can probably do about 100, 150 items, because you got to think about, if you've been to my auctions, I'll do pick 2, pick 3. So I'm not doing 150 straight up auctions. Sometimes you'll get a bunch of, you get 50 pick 2s. Now 100 of those 150 pops are sold. And only 50 auctions were ran to do that. You get what I'm saying? And then I only have 50 individual auctions. So now I only actually did 100 auctions for 150 items. Does that make sense? That's just a rough example, but about 100 to 150 items is about my attention span, my commitment that I could do to an auction, because to be honest with you, I got other stuff going on, you know what I'm saying, and sitting down and me sitting there for more than 3 hours, because usually about 100, 150 items will be a 3-hour max, about 2-hour average, if you would. Sitting down in one spot for about 2 hours, getting stuff done, because you also got to understand that packing these things up are going to take time as well. It's not just sitting down for 2 hours selling these things. Then you got to do another 2 to 4 hours to pack them all up. So 2 to 4 hours or more. Okay, it could take you a whole afternoon depending on what type of stuff you're boxing up, what kind of combined orders you got. I mean, it's just a whole lot of logistics go into that type of a situation, which is why I said my attention spans around 100 to 150 items. And that includes me running multiple multipliers on those items, 2 times pulls, 3 times pulls for the items. And same thing goes for my audience. I mean, how long am I going to ask people who want to come out and support me and hang out in my auctions and chat with me? How long am I going to ask them to sit with me? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost selfish of me to be like, oh, I'm going to sit here for a 3 to 9 hour auction and just chug out pops. Like, people are going to want to leave, you know what I'm saying? And some of those people might have wanted to stay the whole time if you had a shorter auction. So for me, personally, 100, 150 items with multipliers is usually around my attention span that I want to commit to an auction. And if I want to do more than that, I just separate it into another auction. It's just another auction down the road. There's no rush to market to get everything out and sold in one auction. I do like to have full auctions where I'm not selling 10 to 15 pops. I'd only sell 10 to 15 if I'm doing maybe an autograph only auction. I'll do 25 autograph pops. We'll do winner's choice or something like that. But when it comes to selling them straight up like this, 100, 150, that's my cutoff. I mean, I've done more. I've done 300, and I hated it because I'm sitting there for 5 and 6 hours, and I'm just like, man, I got to go more than just number one. And, you know what I'm saying? I can't just leave my stream because then I'll lose everybody. So it's like, you know, it's the law of diminishing returns. Let's just say that, okay? Basic economics when it comes to this stuff. The break-even point for me is 100, 150 items. For you, it might be different. You might run your strat. You might sell differently. But this is just my opinion of me selling for a whole year, full-time, on Whatnot, in every category that was offered on the platform. So, again, that's probably wrapping up the summation of my selling strat as a nutshell. If you guys want me to go into depth to any more of this stuff in regards to selling on Whatnot, let me know down in the comments below. And let me do this. I'll open this up to a AMA. Let's do this and ask me anything. You can do that as well down in the chat. Just ask me anything about selling on Whatnot or just being a part of the Whatnot platform. And lastly, I'll kind of talk about my side note, a personal journey through selling on Whatnot and what it's kind of evolved to. Basically, like I said, it started out where I was selling in the Whatnot Funko category. I spread out to sodas and almost every other category in the beginning by summertime, and I was basically selling in every category as soon as they were launching them, to the point where I was getting people at Whatnot contacting me and asking me, hey, we're launching the Whatnot Comics category. Can you give me some recommendations of people that we should be headhunting for the Whatnot Comics category? Or we're doing retro games. We're doing, we're doing this. We're starting this out. Is there a way you can help us? We're doing action figures. Is there any people that you can toss our way? We're doing retro games. Who should we go after first? In regards to like kind of headhunting and like consulting them in regards to some people that maybe that could be brought on that would be assets to the community, stable standpoints of people who that you can vouch for, that are going to go on the platform and they're going to do good as a starting seller in those categories that they're trying to break through. And that kind of evolved over the course of the year, and in November they asked me to do some part-time consulting work for them, which now I do part-time consulting work primarily in the Whatnot Funko category. So if you're watching this video and I onboarded you, drop me a comment down in the comment section below. It's just growing, and it's, like I said, it's great to be a part of this particular wing of Whatnot and just be part of Whatnot in general. It's literally, circle back to the app itself. It's basically a place where I don't know, I'm not going to go too in depth on, selling it, but I'll say this. I felt confident and comfortable to put a $1,200 pop up for sale during one of my auctions, where I would have never been that confident to put it up on eBay, where somebody's going to swap it with a fake, someone's going to steal it and mail me back another pop, put it in the box. There is so many different things that would have happened, I felt like, if I sold it on eBay versus just having the confidence to list it on Whatnot and sell it to somebody. I believe I sold it to Dad's Toys, actually. And that was my first interaction with Dad's Toys. And I was like super nervous because I'm selling like a pop, and I'm like, it's on Whatnot. You'll be fine. You know what I mean? And it's, I guess, part of the way that they have integrated everything for sellers on the platform, where they give you the confidence to sell things like that on there. And as a buyer, they have a verification process in regards to pops that are over $500. So, you're not getting something bogus. They legit look through it all and they take care of it for you if it's not the right thing. So, in regards to having the confidence to sell those types of items on there, anything over 100, I really didn't even want to sell on eBay in regards to pops. And for me as a collector, I thought to myself, if I don't want to collect things that are over $100, because down the road, if I ever do want to sell them, I have no way of selling them, why collect them? So it limited me almost to what value I wanted to keep my collection at. And by selling on Whatnot has allowed me to also expand the depths of how much I'm willing to invest in something, because now I have the confidence and the avenue to sell that item if I ever did want to sell it down the road. So that's something that I think was really the big ticker for me when I first got on the platform. Was I didn't have to feel like the ice is going to break out from under me. I mean, I've had really terrible experiences as a buyer and a seller on eBay. I mean, I bought a Blacklight Ghost Rider. As you guys know, you probably saw the video where the guy didn't mail me the Ghost Rider. He mailed me a printed out photo of the Blacklight Ghost Rider for $160. And I was boiling out of my gourd. And I said to myself, this would never happen on Whatnot. And when I said that to myself, all the things kind of aligned with me in regards to, hey, maybe you should start thinking about transitioning the other things that you sell, not just Funko Pops, onto the Whatnot platform as it opens up. And that's what I've been doing. So moving forward, I'll be selling in pretty much every category that they have going forward, because everything that they've opened it up to, I've been able to sell in everything. I mean, I've sold the first TV on Whatnot under the retro movies category. I sold VHSs, VCRs, computers. I mean, the list goes on and on of the weird stuff that I've been able to sell in with the certain auctions because they're complementary items. Like, you have a big box PC games or PC game auction, sell some computers, you know what I mean? You're going to sell Whatnot video games, sell some consoles, you know what I mean? So, like I said, there's tons of different things that we could talk about. I love talking about selling on Whatnot. I love talking about reselling, period. I used to do a little series on this called, like, Frankly Flippin', but I didn't really develop it anywhere because it was a thrift-based series. But this is something I definitely would be open to doing more videos about. And we could change the format up. We could do more demonstrational stuff. Whatever you guys are interested in, let me know down in the comments below. like I said, been doing consulting for Whatnot for 6 months, been selling on there full-time for a year. I love it. Like I say, my main focus is Whatnot Funko. I do Funko auctions every single Thursday at 8 p.m. Mountain, 10 p.m. Eastern. Come check me out. I do like 5 to 6 giveaways per auction. It's a lot of fun in there. And like I said, you get to see a lot of really cool stuff. And sometimes it's nice to just come by for the eye candy, if you would. So come check me out tonight if you want to see some really cool grills. I got a Blacklight Carnage. We got... I mean, there's so many pops that are going to be in there tonight. Grail-wise, I got, like I said, the Mandalorians put aside there. I got a Blacklight Venom. We got a bunch of Boba Fett art series, Futura Boba Fetts. There's a lot of higher-end Star Wars stuff that are going in there. We got some Cara Dunes. There's some good stuff that are going to be in there. I got about 100 pops I'm putting up tonight. So, and then I got about 12 10-inch pops. And I got the Galactus 1500 piece Celestial, the Blacklight Chase, the Blacklight one. There's a lot of great stuff, like I said, coming up tonight. Come check me out. Like I said, see how one of these Winner's Choice Funko Pop auctions are run. Like I said, it's my favorite thing to sell on Whatnot is in the Whatnot Funko category. I'd say my second one to sell on there is retro video games. I really do love selling retro video games and talking about them. And I think it's a twofold process where the thing that you're selling has to also be something that you're interested in selling and at least be knowledgeable about it to the point where you're not just sitting up there and not talking and you're just putting stuff up with, you know, really loud music on in the background. So again, wrap packing and shipping, you know, tactics and tips and strats for selling, strats for buying, strats for getting stuff at a cheap price, when's the good time to buy certain items. If you want any of those types of videos, just drop them down in the chat. And if you have any questions about selling on Whatnot or about Whatnot in general, toss it down there as well. And I'll try to answer it for I'll try to answer all the comments for this video. I usually don't even check my comments because I don't know who does. When you get thousands and thousands of comments every day on thousands and thousands of videos that you have, I don't know how anyone goes. It would be a full-time job just to go through comments, but I'm going to make it a point to go through this video and answer all the questions that are down there that are reasonable. Any stupid questions are not going to get answered. You could leave them there. They're just not going to get answered. But yeah, like I said, drop any questions you got about Whatnot, selling. Don't be embarrassed. If you want to hit me up, there's an email in the About section of my channel. You can hit me up there if you don't want to leave your formal comment down there. And if you're looking to sell in the Whatnot Funko space, whether it be passive selling in the marketplace where you don't do any live stream interactions, or if you want to sell in the live stream, hit me up on Instagram. Direct link down in my description. I could definitely help you out with that, especially if you're sitting to this point of the video. You are dedicated to the video. So hit me up down there and we can get you onboarded to sell on the platform, whether it be live selling or marketplace, or we could do both. So like I said, hit me up down there and we'll get that taken care of for you in an expedited fashion versus being on the wait list. And yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you think of selling on Whatnot, your interactions with Whatnot, selling on there or buying. I love to hear both ends of the spectrum. I do both on the platform. So let me know your opinions down there in the comments below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want more content like this, subscribe for more because I do reviews every single day. So look out for that and have a great rest of your day.